It is hard to ignore the sheer scale of money involved in this transfer. Neymar's move to Al-Hilal in August 2023 cost the Saudi club around 94 to 98 million US dollars in transfer fees. On top of that, his reported annual salary was 150 million euros. That means the club's total financial commitment easily went beyond $300 million for a contract originally expected to run through mid-2025. When you hear those numbers, it already sounds huge, right? But once you break them down, things get even more unbelievable. Now, here is something to think about. Neymar only played 7 times for Al-Hilal. 7. Across those matches, he logged just 428 minutes on the pitch. That breaks down to roughly $35 million for each game he played, and over $570,000 for every minute. Yes, every minute. And in terms of what the club got for that kind of money, just 1 goal and 3 assists. If you combine those numbers, each direct goal involvement cost nearly $82 million. Does that sound even close to worth it? The situation became even clearer when Al-Hilal's coach, Jorge Jesus, admitted publicly, Neymar can no longer perform at the level we are used to. Things have become difficult for him, unfortunately. Not long after that, the club removed him from their squad list. Hearing a manager say that out loud shows just how disappointing things had become internally. What do you make of that? Was it just form, injuries, or something deeper? What followed next was media and expert reaction. And let me tell you, they did not hold back. One of the strongest takes came from 442, who called it possibly the biggest waste of money in football history. That is not a statement they make lightly. And if you want numbers to support that claim, analysts at the National provided them. They estimated that Neymar cost Al-Hilal roughly $625,000 per touch and over $1.1 million for every accurate pass he made. Those are not typos. Fans around the world noticed too. On Reddit, one comment summed up the mood. 390 million euros spent, 7 appearances, 428 minutes, worst value for money transfer of all time. That is just one of many similar posts. Others said things like, what an absolute waste of a promising talent, and he only did this stint so he could finish his career at Santos? Do you agree with that take, or do you think people are being too harsh? The comparisons quickly began. Football pundits started putting Neymar's Al-Hilal chapter alongside other expensive disappointments like Philippe Coutinho's move to Barcelona or Romelu Lukaku's second run at Chelsea. And while those transfers did not live up to expectations, most agree Neymar's time in Saudi Arabia tops the list for how little impact he made compared to the massive financial investment. So what happened next? Well, by January 2025, the writing was already on the wall. Neymar and Al-Hilal came to a mutual agreement to terminate the contract. That meant Neymar walked away from around $25 to $30 million in remaining salary. Think about that, he left tens of millions behind. That says a lot about his state of mind. Clearly, this was no longer about money. During his unveiling at Santos, Neymar shared something very personal. He said, I started getting sad in training sessions at Al-Hilal, so there was the chance to come back and I did not think twice. That one sentence told us everything. This was not just about football, it was emotional. He called Santos his boyhood love and made it clear that playing in the 2026 World Cup is now his final mission. What do you think of that decision? Brave move or last resort? His return to Santos then feels like more than just nostalgia. It signals a big change in his mindset, from chasing huge contracts to seeking something more meaningful. Neymar now seems focused on enjoying football again, building a positive end to his career and hopefully going out on his own terms. Still, many fans and pundits are asking the same thing. How does this affect his legacy? Neymar has always been seen as one of the most talented players of his generation. But with a short and disappointing spell like this, it is hard to ignore the damage. Some now group him with players like Antoine Griezmann during his second Atletico Madrid run, or Jadon Sancho's return to Manchester United. Big names, big expectations, and underwhelming results. Where do you think Neymar stands among these? His 6-month deal with Santos, which may be extended, is being viewed as both a business opportunity and a deeply personal reset. From a commercial angle, Santos has already seen a big jump in shirt sales and ticket demand. But on the field, things have been inconsistent. Neymar has shown flashes of the old magic, but he is still dealing with injuries and has not hit top form yet. Are you optimistic about his comeback, or do you think the spark is gone? That said, fans and media are watching closely. With the 2026 World Cup on the horizon, Neymar has a shot to rewrite the story. If he can perform well for Santos and get back into form for Brazil, this Al-Hilal chapter might just become a small blip instead of a career-defining mistake. Earlier, we mentioned that quote from Jorge Jesus, "Things have become difficult for him," and it still lingers in every conversation about Neymar's future. But not everyone is writing him off. In a March 2025 interview with ESPN, Dani Alves, his former Barcelona teammate, said, "Neymar is still one of the most naturally gifted players we have ever seen. He just needs to remember who he is." That kind of support from someone who knows him well does matter. Do you think Neymar still has it in him? So where do we stand today? The numbers do not lie. Al-Hilal spent hundreds of millions on a player who barely made an impact. Neymar's return to Santos, though, shows us something else. It suggests a shift toward peace of mind, more playtime, and maybe one last shot at glory. And now I want to hear from you. Was this truly the worst transfer in football history? Or do you believe Neymar still has a chance to turn things around? Share your thoughts below in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more honest takes on football's biggest moments, do subscribe to Enigma Path. Your support helps keep this channel going, and I would love to have you along for the journey.